Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about this situation that has been developing between Taraji B. Henson, Oprah Winfrey, the main cast in The Color Purple, and the overall conversation about pay inequity in Hollywood in regards to Black actresses. So, of course, you probably know by now that Taraji P. Henson has been very vocal about pay inequity in Hollywood. And she's been vocal about this for a while, but she ended up becoming a bit more vocal about it during the promotional tour for the movie The Color Purple. Saying that she had to almost walk away from the movie because of the lack of pay. And of course, people are looking at Oprah Winfrey as being the villain. And then more information came out that they weren't being treated as they should have been treated in certain situations regarding like the filming of the movie. Like at one point they didn't have their own trailers. Like there wasn't food provided for them. They had to drive themselves to the set of the movie. Now that one I didn't know about. I thought that it was typical that, the actor or actress would just provide their own transportation to get to the set somehow. Just like at a regular job, right? Like usually when you sign up to work at a place, typically the transportation is on you. But again, this is Hollywood, so, things are probably a little bit different. So, of course, people hearing all of this, people are looking at Oprah like, well, WTF, Oprah, what's going on? And the thing is, while I do think Oprah is at least partially responsible, I do think that she is bearing the brunt of all of this. In part because I think that she's sort of like the face of this movie in a way, because she's just been so visible, especially during the promotional tour of the movie. But also I think it's because she's an easier target to go for because she's a Black woman. Because you have to remember, there are 4 producers credited for this movie. And I'll list them for you in alphabetical order by last name, starting with Quincy Jones. Next is Scott Sanders. Next is Steven Spielberg. And last but definitely not least is the amazing Oprah Winfrey. Many people are calling out Oprah Winfrey, which I'm not saying that she is above a call out, but it's like, well, what about the other 3 producers that are listed on the movie's credits? I haven't heard many people talking about and calling out Quincy Jones or Steven Spielberg. And this is my first time even hearing about Scott Sanders. I'm not even sure who Scott Sanders is, outside of course, being a producer for the movie. But the other 2 names are high profile names in the entertainment industry. So I say all of that to say, while Oprah Winfrey does hold some responsibility, I do think that she is being blamed too much for this situation. And I think it's partially just because she's an easy target to blame. And again, also, you have to remember, there are 4 people who are producers listed. So chances are a lot of the duties of a producer, they're probably being divided between 4 people. So like not one person has all of the duties of a producer since there's 4 of them, which would be just fair and common sense. By the way, I just looked at the budget of this movie. This movie had a budget of $100 million. So far, it has made almost $55 million at the box office. The movie was released on Christmas Day. So is this movie considered to be a bop or a flop? Let me know in the comment section below. But on to the next part of my video, which is Monique, the actress, the comedian, Monique. And some people were wondering, where's Monique at? What does she have to say about all this? And I'll say that Monique does not owe anyone in this situation her commentary or her advocacy, just like those people did not owe their commentary and advocacy for Monique when she was calling out Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, Netflix. And I was hoping that Monique would just stay out of it. But Monique, she can't let a good opportunity to get at Oprah go past. And just a little bit of a quick backstory for those of you who don't know or maybe have forgotten. Monique has a grievance with Oprah because of the situation with her being blackballed or lowballed, and because Oprah Winfrey, when she had her television show, she had on Monique's mother, father, and the brother who inappropriately touched her. While Oprah, she did pass by Monique, but not fully by Monique. And what I'm talking about is she called Monique to ask her if it would be okay to have her brother who inappropriately touched her to come on the show. Monique was fine with that. However, Oprah did not tell Monique that she was also going to have her mother and father on the show. Monique eventually ended up confronting Oprah Winfrey at a party at Alfre Woodard's house. And Oprah Winfrey apologized. But it was one of those weak apologies. It was like, Monique, if I did anything to hurt you, I'm sorry. And Monique, she ain't like that apology. She also felt like that apology should have been in public. Which, okay, I can agree on that. However, I got to call out some hypocrisy, though. Because when Monique and D.L. Hughley was going back and forth, and she ended up bringing D.L. Hughley's daughter into it and perpetuating and rehashing the trauma that D.L. Hughley's daughter experienced from being SA'd, Monique gave a weak apology that was very similar to Oprah Winfrey's apology. Oh, if I did anything, I'm sorry. So, that's just part of the reason why I can't completely 100% rock with Monique on certain situations. But I still like her and, her talent and artistry. And I would support, projects that she's in still. Also, quick sidebar, has anyone seen the Netflix comedy special that Monique got? I haven't been able to see it because I don't have Netflix. But from what I heard, it wasn't really all that good, and perhaps it was even mismarketed. And also, I'm not even sure if Monique did much promo for that. Also, Monique didn't want to disclose how much she got for the deal, even though she was huffing and puffing and suing Netflix because of gender and racial discrimination against Black women. And I'm thinking, okay, has Netflix ended their gender and racial discrimination against Black women just because you got a Netflix special now? And, that's another reason why I can't completely rock with Monique on certain situations. But back to the topic at hand. So Monique ended up jumping into the conversation about Oprah Winfrey, the color purple, and pay disparities and things not being the way that they should be. And the YouTube channel Impressive gives a great breakdown of this. So you should definitely watch her video about this topic if you would like a better understanding. But Monique, she ended up talking about Oprah Winfrey and saying, basically, you are the producer. That is your responsibility. And all of that should have been taken care from day one. Which I will say, I am a little surprised that these women were not taken care of better, considering that they were handpicked. Y'all have a big budget. This is a budget of $100 million. At least 2 out of the 4 producers listed and credited are Black. And there have been many Black women in Hollywood being very vocal about being undervalued. So having all that in mind, I would think that it would be hey, these sisters may not be getting treated as well as they should on non-white productions, but let's do these sisters right. Let's treat these sisters like they are the highest grossing actresses in Hollywood. or at least adjacent to that. Basically, let's take good care of our own people, right? But at the end of the day, them, it's just another project. It's just business. So while you do see Oprah out there on the promo tour, laughing and hee and ha ha and kikiing and cheesing it up and hamming it up, a lot of it is just for show. It's just the performance. Everybody that laughs in your face ain't your friend. And all smiles are not friendly. And I know y'all saw that footage with Taraji P. Henson on top of like a building in New York, possibly the Empire State Building, I'm not sure, with the cast and with Oprah, and Taraji were kind of next to each other, but Taraji, you could tell by her body language that she was like standoffish and closed off to Oprah. Also, Taraji P. Henson, she has been very vocal about this situation regarding pay disparity, of course, before The Color Purple, but also during the promotional tour of The Color Purple. And some people are speculating that The Color Purple may not have done as well as it could have done at the box office because of like the negative press involving Taraji P. Henson and her experience regarding The Color Purple, regarding pay. That's what people are speculating. And also, that's what people may use, at least in the industry, to say, oh, Taraji, she's a problem. Oh, let's not cast her for something because she might talk bad about us. And then there are people saying, well, why didn't she do all this during Benjamin Buttons? Basically saying or asking, why didn't she cause all this drama when it was white people? And y'all know why. Y'all know why that is. You know that black folks feel way more comfortable going in and showing they ASS when it comes to black people versus when it comes to non-black people. You can even see it in the response that Monique gave to the situation when she was calling out Oprah. You notice she didn't really go after any other of the other producers, at least from what I've heard. Now, if she did within this context, I stand corrected and please let me know. But I don't think she went after or listed or mentioned other producers outside of Oprah Winfrey. Not even Quincy Jones. And I know somebody gonna come through and be like, Taraji, she did mention the Benjamin Buttons movie. She talked about that. She called that out. And she did. You are correct. But she didn't do it during the promotional tour for the movie. She did not do it when it counted. And also some people are saying that Taraji P. Henson may be going through some things like personally and also possibly experiencing and going through menopause. And I'm not saying that to be shady. I'm just saying that to help put maybe some of her behavior into context so that she can be offered grace if she wants it. But of course, I do got to bring this up regarding Taraji, and that is, Taraji P. Henson a few years ago went on the BET Awards asking for the Black Kangs to come home. And from what I've seen on a lot of these reaction videos to Taraji P. Henson and her being emotional about the unfair treatment she receives regarding her pay in Hollywood, the Black Kangs have not really been super supportive. In fact, some of the Black Kangs were talking about, y'all wanted equality. This is equality. Y'all wanted to work. This is what you gotta do. You gotta work. And it's like, dude, shut the F up. Know what you're talking about before you open your mouth. Because these dudes are making references towards like feminism, their favorite talking point. And the other favorite talking point about how the black woman traded in the black man for a welfare check. It's like, really? Did that really happen? If that really is the case, then I can make the argument that the black man traded in the black community for guns and crack cocaine back in the 80s. Both groups got duped by the government. But at least the sisters can say, hey, this was presented as a government program to help. I didn't know the game that was going to run on me. But for black men, what's the excuse for helping to contaminate your own community and own people in collusion with the government with guns and crack cocaine? We know that guns and crack cocaine are not a part of building healthy, functioning, thriving communities. They are not a part of the Department of Health and Human Services. So shut up and stop trying to scapegoat black women for every single problem in the black community. Also, these dudes were talking about the workforce. And I'm like, when have black women not worked in this country? In America, in the United States. I don't know about other countries. I'm just talking about the United States. Please, can someone please tell me a time when black women as a collective, as a group in the United States have not had to work or have not worked? Unfortunately, due to the legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, and good old American racism, black women have had to work. Black women were not able to, quote unquote, rest in their femininity and be housewives and stay-at-home mothers like that. I'm sure there were some, but I'm also sure that there were many who worked, whether they were married or single, because, the black man's check just didn't go as far when it came to dealing with and paying for housing and other living expenses. And of course, someone's going to come through and be like, you got to put it in the context. Black men were making that much money because of racism, which I agree, that is a big factor. However, it seems like context is lost when it comes to black women and their struggles and the things that they experience and the mistakes that they make, etc., etc., etc. It's just, black women, you should have known better. Black women, you ain't no good. Black women, you cannot redeem yourself. Black women, you are a failure. You are a disgrace. You do not deserve to walk the earth. Black women, unalive yourself for the good of the community, the race, and humanity itself. Even though it's like black women are the only group of people who really even give a damn about you in the first place. And the reason that you got what you got now, the reason that you even came into the world in the first place, and who helped sustain you for 9 months when you could not sustain yourself. But the reason that I bring all this up, though, is because Taraji P. Henson at the BET Awards a few years ago, she was talking about the black kings coming home. And the thing is, it's like, Taraji, you should be able to call on these black kings to come to your defense. Because if she had been calling on white kings and talking about white kings, y'all need to be checking for the sisters more. White kings, y'all need to get a black queen in your life. Then, in this situation that has come up now with Taraji P. Henson talking about pay disparity and all that good stuff. Well, bad stuff, you know what I mean. People, both black men and black women, would be like, well, you need to go to white men for that. Wasn't you hyping them up? And there would probably be some truth in that. But in this situation, I'm saying to Taraji, shouldn't you be going at least partially to black men for this? But the thing is, I think that she knows that she can't. And black women who engage in that type of behavior, they know that they can't really go to black men for much of anything, to the point where you probably would just be better off trading him in for a welfare check. At least the welfare check would be dependable. At least it would offer you some value. At least it would provide something for you. At least it would give you a sense of protection, be it financially. By the way, did y'all see Megan Good in that interview with Jonathan Majors holding him down like Coretta Scott King? And then you got black men in the comment section talking about, let's see how long it takes for Megan Good to leave and stuff like that. Like Megan Good owes Jonathan Majors anything. Notice they ain't talking that much smack about the woman he was originally with. But I do wonder if the person that Jonathan Majors was texting with during all this situation and during the altercation, I wonder if that person was Megan Good. Because I don't think we ever found out the identity of that woman. And also, one more thing about this situation. Cat Williams, he spoke about the situation with Jonathan Majors, and he also even, went in on Jonathan Majors' looks during that Shannon Sharp interview on Club Shay Shay. And Shay Shay was feeling some type of a way, because he was catching a couple of them stray bullets. But Cat Williams, went in on Jonathan Majors' looks, and I'm seeing the comment section, and it seems to be pretty much, applause. Like, people are cheering and laughing and ha-ha and he-heing about it. But I remember, though, not too long ago, when there were some black women on social media talking about Jonathan Majors' looks, it wasn't that much ha-ha he-he about it, though. It was more offense about it. Like, how dare you not like Jonathan Majors' looks? He represents the average black man. If you don't like what the average black man looks like, you're self-hating. You're the reason why black man can't build. You're the reason why black man can't protect. You're the reason why black man can't provide. You're the reason why black men have self-hate issues. You're the reason why black men choose funny-faced, light-skinned women. You, black woman, yes, you. Look what you have done to me. Look what you made me do. Right, black women, once again, are the ultimate scapegoat, the ultimate fallback queen, too, the ultimate ride or die, with little to no appreciation. And my bad, I know I went off on a whole tangent, a whole rant. But let me get back to topic and finish this video. Taraji, she knows she can't go to black men for anything. She ain't going to be able to go to white folks for anything. So who's left? Black women, of course. Sisterhood. And the same thing more or less with Monique and pretty much the rest of them. I'm not saying that you shouldn't care at all, but at the same time, take it for what it is, which is ultimately it's trauma bonding. They're trying to trauma bond with you in an attempt to get you to support them. And I'll say in some situations. And of course, black people do this all the time. They know the triggers that they need to hit in order to get at you, which is basically talking about race and perhaps gender when it comes to trying to trigger black women and people who care about black women. But I don't think Oprah deserves all the blame or even the bulk of the blame. She is at least, I'll say she gets a fourth of the blame since there's 4 producers. She gets a fourth of the blame and then distribute the rest of the blame accordingly. But that's all I got for now. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching this video. Please let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.